stopping the ball.
Yeah, I thought just off the dribble with Brown and Tatum, White, even Marcus Smart, that's something we gotta. And a lot of times it wasn't even pick and roll; it was just kind of like one-on-one in space. Like we've got to do a better job of. And I do think we tried to shrink the floor a little bit. I think that had something to do with giving up the number of threes we gave up, because we did have a hard time one-on-one, containing them off the dribble. And obviously the more you bring help, the more you're in rotation, the more more challenging it becomes to close out and contain the ball. But that definitely was a factor, I thought, for us defensively.
Science matchup problems with DeMar giving up offensive rebounds on Horford. Make the switch early in the third quarter. Can you explain what the decision was behind that?
Well, I think with, watching film of them, Tice had been generally the 5, Al's been the 4. And they really kind of use Al as a floor spacer, a facilitator, kind of a ball mover for them. And Tice is more of the roller. And, obviously like anything else, teams are going to go at, different things. And, with DeMar there, I thought we looked at it early. They generally, I think maybe after the first 6 or 7 minutes, they kind of start staggering those guys where there's one big in, one big's off. But I just wanted to give it another look a little bit to start the third. And I just thought we needed to bring Tristan in there just for some physicality and some length and size. And, really what I tried to do is, Patrick and Javante and Derek is to try to keep 2 of the 3 of those guys on the floor to try to put some length on Brown and Tatum, on the wings. And then when they were playing big, just to see what Tristan was, like out there. So, at times it was okay. And other times, it wasn't great, but, I just thought we needed more size, especially on the perimeter. We needed, I thought, a little bit more size.
Just one more for me. You guys are trying everything, lineup changes, rotation changes. Nothing seems to be working. Does it feel like you all are out of answers right now?
No, I think that, again, I've said this before. To me, you have to, as crazy as it sounds, you have to go through significant adversity, challenges, whatever difficulties, whatever you want to call it, because you have to be able to dig down deeper inside. And I do think in a lot of ways, the road this time of year for any team is never easy. It's really hard, and you have to be kind of battle tested, and you got to be a little bit hardened, and you got to be scarred. And that's why I said, I think coming out of the All-Star break, that I was happy our schedule was as difficult as it was, because I knew if we were fortunate enough as we are today to be into the playoffs, it's only getting harder. The worst thing for our team would have been to have the easiest schedule and be on a big time run. Like we're finding out, playing against Miami, the number 1 seed in the East, Boston and Milwaukee, fighting for seeds, between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So these are teams that you could potentially face, and we need to understand exactly what we could potentially be walking into. And you're going to have to fight because certainly for us, I think at times offensively, it has been a struggle, for us to score. And, we've got to find, different ways to score. But I do think when we've had guys in and out like Zach and Alex, and it's going to impact the scoring some. But it's the other things. It's the precision on offense, precision on defense, the competing and battling and fighting for, really what you're doing in a lot of ways, you're fighting on easy baskets. You're fighting on offensive rebounds. You're fighting in transition. You're fighting to guard the ball so you don't give up drives. Like what you're really trying to do is take away easy baskets. And generally what happens this time of year when you get teams that are really good is easy baskets are hard to come by. And the more that you can generate and manufacture, I think whatever team can do that generally has a huge advantage.
You've been talking about going through these experiences and becoming battle tested and facing adversity for a while now. Do you have enough time with only 2 games left in the regular season and then that week of practice to apply the lessons you hope you're learning to this year's playoffs? Or are you talking about this being a gradual process for, next year?
Yeah, no. I mean, listen, you want to be able to do, these guys have worked really, really hard to get to this point, to give themselves an opportunity, in a week or 10 days or whenever it is we would play, after the regular season's over. But, it's, when you're going through this, like, and I think some of our guys, it's new, like our starting point guard has never played an NBA season before, you know what I mean? And he's done a lot of great things for us, Io, but this is like all new for Patrick Williams. Has been out for 5 months. And I'm not like, at all saying like today or yesterday or the game before that has anything to do with those two guys. What I am saying is there is a growth period that you have to become, tougher, nastier. You just become hard and you understand what it's about, and, the way, Milwaukee screening on us last night, the way to what Darnell's saying, like Brown and Tatum are put like that's coming every single possession. And, I think there's a little bit of, I don't want to say eye-opening, but it's a little bit like, wow, like I think I'm playing hard, but it's not good enough, And I think these moments where you're playing against really good quality teams, you're going to have to, like, I don't know, you just get to a point where it's like, like it's enough, and you're battling. Like someone said, like, what are you competing for? You're competing for everything. On every single possession, you're competing on the screen. Okay, you're competing to get out there and contest. You're competing on the glass. You're competing. Everything is that. And when it can't be, I forgot to get back in transition. I lost sight of my man. I forgot to block out. I was a silly foul. I left my feet. Like those things inevitably add up over a period of time. And you can't get by on that. There's got to be like precision and concentration, focus, and this like just this intense focus. And we've got to get that. And I don't feel like we have that, and we've got to get that. That there's just like this elite, like laser focus of moment by moment playing what is going on now. And I think for some of our guys, this is kind of like wow, and we've got to get better at it, and we've got to put more into it. And I've loved these guys, and they've been great, and I think what they're going through is going to be really, really valuable in terms of helping them grow. But there's a lot that goes into this, and it can't be it's all right. I'm sorry, my fault. No, like those things add up over a period of time.
You've been very real about this team at odd moments. I say that respectfully. Like we came out of protocols, the team was hotter than anybody. And you're like, hey, I was watching defensive slippage while I was in the protocols, right? Then around the All-Star break, there was that win streak. You're like, this is unsustainable shooting, people. I mean, like you've called it like so. With all that said, did you think it would drop to where you're at now, though? I mean, these losses, again, respectfully, are not competitive losses. I mean, so did you think it would go from where that was then to now?
I think what happens is when you're winning, you have a false sense and a false reality of who you are. And I think when you're losing, you have a false sense of reality of who you are. That's what ends up happening. And you've got to be able to fall back into, some common core beliefs of knowing exactly what you have to do, and it's easy, to compete when everything's good. So I think what happens sometimes, Casey, is the schedule falls crazy. And what I mean by that is you get like 3 really, really good teams in a row and you drop all 3. You've lost 3 in a row. And then the schedule kind of falls and you win 8 in a row, but what I was excited about when I said come out of the All-Star break, we had the toughest schedule of any team in the league. I love that. I think that was great for this group. And I saw all this coming. I'm not surprised one bit. We have got to, it's never this easy. It just is never this easy. And it is such a struggle. You talk about the best basketball players in the world, the best players in the world. I mean, it's, to think, oh, this is no. And like I said, we're not as bad as we've played. We're not, but we probably weren't as good when we won an 8 or 9 game winning streak. Probably the truth is somewhere in the middle. But what ends up happening is there's like a determination, a fight, a competitiveness that you have to have this time of year because you are dealing on margins. That's what you're fighting for margins. And to your point, when we have these huge losses, why I have huge losses? Because Milwaukee and Boston understand the margins and they're fighting like crazy for them. And we've gotten dominated on the margins. That's why we've lost by 20.
Thanks, Coach. The rest, the knee, how did you feel physically tonight?
Felt fine. Felt good.
What about the start, Zach, for you? I mean, look like, correct me if I'm wrong, look like you came out a little more assertive trying to get this one. Did I read that correct?
Yeah, I tried to. Obviously, it didn't work. Try to get it going early. It didn't happen, but it's hard to play when we're disconnected like this, and the result shows.
But disconnected.
Offensively and defensively, we're disconnected right now. We have to find our rhythm within these next 2 games.
How discouraging is it to go through these 3 games, potential playoff opponents, and just not even really be that competitive?
I mean, it's obviously not fun, but it's we gotta find some fight within these next couple of games before it hits real time, and it's definitely don't come to light if we don't.
I think you guys could have been doing better defensively at the start of the game.
I mean, there's a lot of things we could have been doing better. I just think that they got a lot of easy looks and they made us take a lot of tough shots, and it's a tale of 2 stories. So we gotta figure it out some way somehow, and we tried to switch up schemes. I think we did a good job prepping for it, but obviously our intensity and the way we came out wasn't the right way, and it just snowballed.
You agree with Billy that the tough schedule is a good thing for you all? Losing these games, yeah, you guys are learning through the losses, but could this young team stand to benefit from some wins, even against lesser competition?
Take a win whenever you can. It's hard to beat the worst team in the NBA. Granted, the toughest teams in the NBA. So, we're just going out there, and at this point right now, with these games left, we're just trying to catch a rhythm. It don't matter who we play or, when we play, we gotta get back on track.
Like the losses are doing to a group of guys who haven't been together.
Hopefully it's making us, light a fire under some guys and really open our eyes to see how good we are, and to make everybody look in the mirror and figure out what I can do to help us get better at this point.
Anything outside of like maybe the mental or emotional game right now that you're trying to like sort of figure out these last 2 games?
For me personally, I mean, I think we're just trying to figure out how to get back in rhythm. I keep saying that because we're not looking like that same team that we were earlier, and that's upsetting. And yeah, you're trying to find that with us again. We obviously have shown it, that fight, that hunger, but we look like a totally different team right now, and it's upsetting. So we got to hurry up and get back to what we were doing.
Why for that, Zach?
If I did, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Your finger on anything that you guys were playing so well in the first
If I
half.
could put my finger on it, we'll be fixing it. So hopefully we can we can find that. Hopefully we can find that.
Do you have enough time to fix it?
I mean, time is something everybody wants, man. I think we wish we had more time and more than just basketball. So it's that's something that you can't fight. We gotta hurry up and do it, and not hope and wish. So we got a certain amount of time left before it gets real. So I'm optimistic that we can be, because if I'm not, then what are we doing this for?
Mentioned the other day that he's taking it upon himself to kind of teach you what it's going to be like going to the playoffs. Anything specific that he shared with you over the last couple of days?
I mean, I don't think I appreciate Tristan. I think he's a very veteran guy, and we have some veteran guys that's been to places that I haven't been to before, and I try to get as much information as I can, but nobody's going to prepare you until you get that experience. It's just like life. So, I'm ready to, go at it 100%. I think obviously you guys know my confidence with, myself, but it's an experience I'm looking forward to. And, I just try to get as much knowledge as I can before going into it.
Your impression of Pat and what you're seeing out of him so far in his return?
It looked great. Pat's skill set is big time for us, because he can play so many different positions, and I think he's just starting to find his rhythm again out there. He's made some incredible moves and plays. We just need him to be aggressive and keep doing what he's doing.
Thanks, Zach. I don't know, Patrick.
Individually, we'll get into the team stuff. Or where are you kind of at individually, this many games back into your comeback?
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. Feel pretty confident in everything. I don't think when I'm out there, I don't think of the risk at all, which I think is a huge positive coming back from a surgery that I had and being out for that long. So I feel pretty confident. Back to backs are still getting used to those. I think this is my second or third back to back since I've been back. So getting used to back to backs things like that. But I feel pretty good overall.
Billy's been very open with us about, what he wants to see from you in terms of aggressiveness. Where do you think you're standing in that situation?
I think I'm getting better. I love the fact that he's open, like he said to you guys, but he's also open to me about what he wants to see from me. He doesn't hesitate to pull me over to the side and tell me after a play, like maybe you should have kept it there, or what were you thinking on this play? You should have. Tells me what he saw, and we kind of have a dialogue back and forth about what I saw and what he saw. So it's great to have a coach that's open, not only to you but in front of the team, in front of the media, kind of like you were saying about kind of what he wants to see from you, and it makes it clear.
Why do you think y'all struggled to stop the ball so much tonight?
I think tonight was just there was a lack of communication, a lack of physicality. I think stopping in order to stop the ball, there has to be some type of contact. They're driving and you're trying to stop them from driving. They're not going to stop driving until you get in their way. I think I lack confidence in specifically on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum a couple times. But just overall, I think communication and then just physicality. We gotta definitely up those two.
I don't normally hear NBA players or professional athletes in general say they lack confidence. We haven't heard you ever say that. What was it about tonight against Brown and Tatum? Made you feel?
Nothing really that they were doing. It's just more of us. Kind of like I said, being physical, setting that tone from the jump. I think sometimes we come back, we come out, I should say, lackadaisical sometimes. I think they got out on us early in the first quarter, and then we're kind of digging ourselves out of a hole. Then instead of coming out, setting the tone, punch them in the mouth first, so to speak, and then setting the tone for the rest of the game. Obviously, in the game, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be ebbs and flows. No game is perfect. They're going to go on runs. They're a great team, but so are we. You know what I mean? So they're going to go on runs, and so are we. But we have to withstand those runs, and like I said, play physical, communicate, and everything else will take care of itself. Like we have a team where we're so talented offensively. Offensive will take care of itself. We move the ball, cut hard, play for one another. That'll take care of itself with the guys that we have. But defensively, I think we have to lock in defensively. I think I can be a big part of that. Just with my size, athleticism, length. I could be a huge part of that for sure. But I mean, we have to be better defensively.
You see the team and you see how well they were playing earlier, and now where you guys are playing against some of the better teams. What in your estimation has been the difference, especially defensively? And do you feel like you all have what it takes to get it back?
Definitely. I mean, we've shown that we can do it throughout the season. I mean, even in games where we lose big, or even in games where we have the lead and we lose, we still have bright spots. So I think it's important to especially times like this where everything kind of seems down, everything kind of seems gloomy. I think it's important to look back on those times where we've shown that we can do it. We've shown that we can go on 5-minute, 10-minute stretches where we are locked in offensively and defensively. And I think it's just a focus thing for us. We've shown ourselves, most importantly, we've shown the coaching staff, we've shown ourselves that we can do it. We can do it consistently. I think it's a focus thing. And I've never been to the playoffs, but just from listening to conversations with guys that have, people that have in our locker room, it's all about focus. It's all about details. So I think locking into those details, whatever they were earlier in the season or whatever they were, the times that we did go on a stretch where we were locked in on both sides, I think whatever those details were, I think we got a lot back into those.
About that point about how you've never been to the playoffs before, you've been very open with us about how you had an atypical first 2 seasons in the NBA. You didn't have a summer league your first year because of COVID, and then this year you missed so many games to injury. Can playing in the NBA playoffs in just your second season be an educational tool for you in your career?
I mean, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of people who never make it to the playoffs in their NBA career. Some of them are great players that just didn't have the team, didn't have an opportunity to make it. So making it there every practice, every game, every walk through, every shoot around is a learning experience. I mean, that's the place that I play to play. I play to get to that every year. Like it's not a year that I won't play to get to the playoffs, that I won't play to get to the finals. I mean, I play the game to win. I think a lot of guys in the locker room do as well. So I think for me, for Io, for Kobe, for a lot of guys that have never been there, just having that first experience, I think that's something that we can carry on for the rest of our career. Whatever team we go to, hopefully it's Chicago Bulls, but whatever team we go to, it's a business. So just having that experience of being in the playoffs is something that you can carry with you for the rest of your career and also the rest of your life. Kind of like I said, a lot of people never make it to the playoffs, and that's the highest point other than the finals of NBA basketball. So just having that experience, I think, is big in life, but also in basketball. Mm-hmm. Thank you.